Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. So today we are going to study a new topic, okay, which is about stimuli and response. We are going to learn about the structure of human nervous system first. Okay, so as you can see, there are two types of human nervous system, which are central nervous system and also peripheral nervous system. Okay, so central means that it is located in the middle of the body, while peripheral nervous system is mean that it is located, okay, at the both side, either left or right. Okay, so for central nervous system, there are two types of them, which are brain. Okay, so this is brain, and the next one is spinal cord. Okay, so this spinal cord actually you can find in backbone. Okay, the next one is peripheral nervous system. Okay, so peripheral nervous system is a branching, that get out from the brain. Okay, so this is cranial nerve, and the next one is spinal nerve. Okay, so spinal nerve is actually a branching, okay, from spinal cord. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, I'm gonna focus on the important parts. Okay, the rest of it you can study by yourself. Okay, so here is the function of human nervous system. Okay, so as you can see, the function of human nervous system is the first one is to detect stimuli. Okay, so for those who don't know, stimuli is any changes that happen, okay, surrounding us. Okay, for example, you feel normal, suddenly you feel hot or you feel cool. Okay, so when you feel that way, so we can say that temperature is the stimuli. Okay, so I repeat again, stimuli is the changes that happen in the surrounding. Okay, the next one is the function of nervous system is to send information in the form of impulse. Okay, okay. So this one we will learn in detail lah. What does it mean? And then the next function is to interpret the impulse. Okay, basically the interpretation of impulse, okay, will happen in the brain. So that's why brain is very important. Why? Because brain is the organ that is gonna interpret, okay, the impulse. And the last one is to produce response. Okay, to produce response. So here you can see they are all the importance or the function of human system, human nervous system in our body. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so the next one, okay, we are going to cover about the types of action that usually we will do. Okay, so action, okay, has two types. Okay, either it is voluntary or involuntary. Okay, voluntary is the action that you are aware what is happening surrounding you. For example, reading books. Okay, you are aware that you are actually reading a book. Okay, so that is the example of voluntary action. Other than that, the example of voluntary action is, for example, you do running. Okay, when you do running, you actually know that you are doing jogging or whatever. Okay, so basically, voluntary action is controlled by our brain. Okay, by our brain. Okay, okay, that is for voluntary action. And for involuntary action, is something that out of your control. Okay, for example, when you touch a hot object, okay, you will, okay, for example, you suddenly touch a hot object. So for sure, you will withdraw your hand, right? Or you will think, no, right? So you will directly withdraw your hand from the hot object. Same goes when you touch a sharp object, okay? So you don't have to think, okay? So we can say that involuntary action is the action that is out of our control. So it is not controlled by the brain. Instead, it is controlled by our spinal cord. Okay, and the next one is peristalsis in esophagus. Okay, so I'm sure you guys still remember what is esophagus, right? Esophagus is an organ that link our mouth to the stomach. Okay, so basically when we eat, okay, when we chew the food, and the food will be transferred to the stomach, okay, using esophagus. So this is food, okay. So this food, okay, will move, okay, and that process is called peristalsis. Okay, and then this process we cannot control. Okay, so can you control the food to move, okay, from stomach uh, from mouth to the stomach? No, right? So we can say that it is involuntary action. Okay. Dia apa bunyi teh ni? Kat sini kan dia dah tutup kan?
Rasanya notification dia still dapat.
Oh, banyak ni orang PM.
Lock up.
Oh, lock pula dah.
Lock up. Hai kasih aircon ni?
Kalau kita tekan pause kan, lepas tu kita tekan play balik, dia okey kan?
Boleh. Banyak apa ni?
Oh, teh.
Tapi dia tak boleh bunyi dah ni.
Dia bunyi.
Tak.
Okay. Dia bunyi tek. Notification lah tu.
Dia bunyi tapi dia tak boleh bunyi dalam ni. Ni kok.
Ni gambar pula ni.
Ni kau ni. Team. Sekejap lock out sini ya.
Oh, team kau bunyi ni.
Sebab dia masuk kan. Mana nak lock out? Minta maaf kalau Harus sorted. Okey, lanjut lah.
Aku tahu
tadi dia hadi berlakon dia.
Hadi.
Tak tulis apa tadi dah, bukan Telegram eh?
Dah. Gimana Macam nak pergi balik?
Ni.
Resume. Resume ke?
Resume share. And then
Okay. Okay, sorry for taking so long. Okay, guys. So here, okay. Just now I just give you a little introduction, okay, about voluntary and involuntary action. Now we are going to learn in detail, okay. This one. Voluntary action are conscious action and conducted under one will. So it means that you are aware that you are doing that activity. Okay, and all voluntary action are controlled by the brain. So that's why when you are running, you know that you are running. Why? Because your brain will interpret your action. The example of voluntary action including reading, writing, speaking, and so on. Okay, so this is one of the example that you can use, okay, for the voluntary action. Okay, for example, when your phone is ringing, this for sure will give you sound, right? And then this sound, we can say that it is stimulus. As I said just now, stimulus is any change that happen in the surrounding. For example, the stimulus is phone ring or sound lah. And the receptor. The receptor is the one that will detect the stimulus. Okay, so the effector, for example, is receptor. Okay, so receptor in a human ear lah, sebab we will listen, we will hear using our ear. So the receptor that present in the ear will detect the stimuli, and this receptor, okay, will send nerve impulse to the brain. Okay, so when it arrive at the brain, so the brain will interpret the information. For example, okay, the brain will interpret that you are listening to the sound made by the phone. Okay, so and then what the brain will do? The brain will send another impulse to the effector. For those who don't know, effector is the one that will make a response. Okay, the example of effector, you can use muscle or gland. Okay, so in this case, we are going to use muscle, okay, as our effector. Why? Because we will make an action to take the phone by using muscle. Okay, because there is a muscle in our hand. When our muscle contract and relax in the hand, it enable us to move. Move to what? To take the phone. Okay. So basically, voluntary action, it involves stimulus, effector, brain, effector, and the last one is response. Okay, so at the bottom of each item, you can find the example. Okay, for example, stimulus, example dia apa? Example dia phone ring, sound, temperature, or so on. Okay, and then for effector, okay, the example is receptor. Receptor what? Sound receptor lah. Kat mana? Dekat ear. Okay, so this receptor, okay, it will send nerve impulse, okay, to the brain. And then brain send nerve impulse to the effector. Effector contoh kat sini adalah muscle. Why muscle? Because muscle will do contract and relax to enable us to move. And then we make the response, okay, by touching the screen and so on. Okay, so far so good, guys. Cakap ni sendiri kan? Okay, baik. Next. Okay, now we are going to study the last action, okay, which is involuntary action. Okay, so involuntary action, action that occur immediately without conscious control or prior thought. Okay, involuntary action can be classified into two. Okay, tengok ada dua jenis involuntary action. The first one involving medulla oblongata. Okay, for example, is heartbeat. And then breathing, peristalsis, and secretion of saliva. Okay, for example, heartbeat. Can you stop your heartbeat? No, right? It will beat by themselves. So it means that you are not conscious. Okay, it will happen naturally. And then the next example is breathing. Okay, you don't have to think. Okay, do I have to breathe? No, you will naturally breathe by yourself. And then peristalsis. Peristalsis, just now we made example like the movement of food, okay, in the esophagus. Okay, the food, okay, will go down from mouth to the stomach, okay, and that process is called peristalsis. And then the secretion of saliva. Okay, dekat kita punya mulut kan ada saliva. Saliva itu adalah air liur lah. Okay, so you cannot control it. It will happen naturally. So involuntary action is an action that happen without your conscious. Okay, the next one is involving spinal cord. Ingat lagi tak spinal cord tadi? Spinal cord is one of the example of central nervous system. Central nervous system ada dua dia kan cikgu cakap. Okay, brain and also spinal cord. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, spinal cord. Ni. Okay, so this is brain. This is medulla oblongata and this is spinal cord. Okay, spinal cord ni we can find them in the backbone. Okay, so apa contoh spinal cord ni? Involuntary action that involve spinal cord. Okay, the example is, okay, ada tiga kat sini. The first one is you withdraw your hand when you accidentally, okay, touch a hot ataupun sharp object. Ni sharp dan juga hot object. And the last one when you sneeze. Okay, so it will happen out of your control. It happen naturally. Okay, so this is the example of involuntary action involving spinal cord. Okay, for example, this is a hot object. Okay, so this is a hot object. So what will happen is that you see there is a effector. Ni effector siapa? Receptor. Okay, so right now you are touching hot object. So the receptor, there are so many receptor. For example, hot receptor, cool receptor, touch receptor, pain receptor, and so on. Okay, so right now this is hot object. So obviously the receptor involved here is hot receptor. So you see the first one is effector. Okay, this is stimulus, right? Stimulus is the temperature. And then effector, right? So heat receptor, okay, will detect the stimuli, and then this effector will send nerve impulse to where? To the spinal cord. To the spinal cord. If you see this is the red arrow, right? Red arrow ni it show the direction of impulse. Okay, so the the heat receptor will send impulse, okay, to where? To the spinal cord. And then the spinal cord, okay, will send another impulse to the effector. Okay, to the effector. So the effector, when it receives impulse, it enable effector to make a response. Okay, respond dia apa? Respond dia the muscle will contract and relax. So when we can contract and relax, it means that we can move. Why we have to move? Because we want to withdraw. Okay, withdraw our hand from touching the hot object. So at this particular time, you see that we don't have to think. So this is the reason why. Why? Because the nerve impulse will be sent to the spinal cord rather than brain. If it is sent to the brain, then you will think first, oh, do I have to remove my hand? No. So obviously, when you touch a hot or sharp object, you will remove your hand directly without thinking. Why? Because the nerve impulse will be sent in the spinal cord. Spinal cord ni bukan otak. Okay, otak tu yang akan berfikir. Spinal cord will enable us to make a quick response. Okay. Okay, guys, so let's proceed. Okay, the rest of it you can read by yourself. I'm just gonna touch the important stuff. Okay. Okay, guys, so the next one, we are going to study about the stimuli and response in the human. Okay, specifically in the human. Okay, susah nak gerak ni. Okay, let me make it larger. Okay, comelkan baby ni kan. Okay, bye. Okay, guys, so you have to know that in human, there are 5 sensory organ. Macam dalam bahasa Melayu kita boleh cakap panca indera. Okay, panca indera. So there are 5 sensory organ that enable us to detect stimuli. Macam tadi cikgu cakap, stimuli is any change that happens surrounding us. Okay, so there are 5 sensory organ that enable us to respond to the surrounding. The first one is eyes. So eyes, it will detect stimuli apa? Stimuli sight. Sight tu penglihatan. Okay, for example light. And then ear, it will detect hearing, noise and so on. And nose, it will detect smell. Adakah orang hidung guna kaki? Tak ada kan? Nose, okay, and for smell. And then for tongue, okay, the stimuli is the taste. Okay, either it is sour, sweet, or whatever. And the last one, skin. And skin, the stimuli is the touch. Okay, so here, human have 5 sensory organs such as eyes, ear, nose, skin, and tongue. Awak semua ada kat ni? Ada kan? Cacat lah awak. Okay, guys, so let's move to the first organ. Okay, the first organ is eyes. So here is the structure of eyes lah. So this is pupil. Pupil dalam bahasa Melayu anak mata lah. Okay, this is iris. Iris ni yang jaring-jaring ni, awak tengok ni. And the last one, ni yang putih tu, sclera. Okay, so our eyes can be divided into 3 main part. Okay, pupil, iris, and sclera. Okay, sekarang warna putih. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Sekejap, cikgu pergi ke tempat lain pula. Okay. Okay, guys. So here is the eye structure. Okay, this one, I want you try to read by yourself. Okay, because in this particular page, they show to you the structure and also the function of each item you can find in the eyes. Okay, this one is very straightforward information. So I think you can read by yourself. Okay. Okay, page berapa? Page 12. Okay. I already sent to you the link. Those who don't bring back the book, okay, you can use this link, okay, for you to read the textbook. Okay, so here, okay, I want to tell to you, okay, about, okay, what is the color of the object seen. Okay, as I said just now, I just want to focus on the important parts. Okay. Okay, guys. So here, okay, retina has two types of photoreceptor, and which are rod cell and cone cell. Okay, where is retina in our eyes? Okay, retina ni yang ni awak tengok ni. Ni retina yang what? Yellow in color. Ni. Okay, the one that I highlight here is retina. Okay, why retina is very important? Okay, now I will tell you. Okay, so this is retina. Ni yang cikgu bulat-bulatkan ni. Okay, yang warna kuning ni. So this is what we call retina. Okay, kita tengok sikit apa fungsi dia. Retina is a layer containing photoreceptor. Ingat tak tadi cikgu cerita pasal receptor? In our skin, for example, we have pain receptor, we have cool receptor, we have so many receptor. But in the retina, we only have one receptor, which is photoreceptor. Bukan Photoshop tu yang awak guna nak edit gambar masuk Instagram. Ni Photoshop pula dah. Photoreceptor. So retina is a layer that contain photoreceptor that will detect the light. So stimulus kita apa? Our stimulus is light to produce nerve impulse. Nerve impulse is very important. Why? Because we will send the information using nerve impulse to the brain. Ni, okay, jom kita let's move on. Okay, so as you can see, we can find retina in our eyes, right? So inside retina, there are two types of photoreceptor, which are rod cell and cone cell. Ni, macam tadi saya cakap, retina is in a yellow color, right? Ni. So in detail, retina has two types of photoreceptor, which are rod receptor and cone receptor. Ni, rod receptor ni yang macam ni wajah dia warna biru ni. And then cone receptor, they look like this. Okay, and here ni retina ni, tengok ni retina. Light is the stimulus lah. So when the light get inside our eyes, it will touch on the retina. Ni tengok light ni dia akan pergi kat retina. Sebab apa? Sebab pertama sekali we see that rod cell are sensitive to the different light intensity. Including faint light, and are not sensitive of the color. Tapi kalau cone cell, they are sensitive to the color. Macam ni, kalau rod cell ni sensitive to the different light intensity. Maksudnya light ni it can be either too bright ataupun a little bright ataupun just nice. Intensity kan macam dia punya panggil apa dia, cahaya tu lah, malap ke terang sangat ke apa, itu masuk light intensity. Tapi the one that will sensitive to the color of the light, okay, because we know that light could be many color, right? Okay, and there are three types of cone cell which is very sensitive. Okay, they are sensitive to the red, green and blue. Okay, red, green and blue, this is the main color lah. Okay, so this cone cell, ingat cone cell color CC. So cone cell sensitive to the light. Kalau rod cell sensitive to the light intensity. Okay. Okay guys, so that's all for the ears, for the eyes. Now we are going to proceed with the ears. Okay, kat telinga kita pula. So as you can see, this is our ear. So our ear can be divided into three main part. Okay, the first one is outer ear. Ni outer ear yang keluar ni. And then we have middle ear, and the last one inner ear. Okay, we go one by one. Okay. Okay, outer ear. Okay, the first one we have earlobe. Ni earlobe. Okay, and then we have ear canal. Yang awak korek telinga tu, sampai sini je lah. Okay, jangan korek dalam sangat darah nanti. Okay, so this is earlobe and ear canal, lubang telinga tu lah. And then in the middle ear, you can see they are different bone. The first one is ossicle. Ossicle is the bone, is a very small bone in the ear lah. And then we have eardrum. Eardrum. And then we have oval. Okay, we have ossicle, we have eardrum, and we have oval. That's all. Okay, paling kita tengok apa detail, apa function dia. And then inner ear. Okay, it has semicircular canal. Ni yang macam ni. Circular tu maksudnya dia bulat lah. And then it has cochlea. Okay. Cochlea ni macam siput kan. Apa fungsi dia nanti kita belajar. And the last one is auditory nerve. Okay, auditory. Okay, so that is the part that you can find in the ear. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so here is the function of each item and their function. Okay, so I think this one you can read by yourself. If you have trouble, you can PM me. Okay. Okay, the next one is nose. Nose ni, kita tengok nose pula. Nose, obviously, they are sensitive, okay, to the stimulus which is smell. So tengok okay, so this is our nose, nostril. Nostril tu lubang hidung lah. Okay, and then we have sensory cell here. Sensory cell that contain smell receptor. Smell receptor. Why it is important? Because the smell receptor is the one that will detect, okay, the stimuli, which is smell. Bau busuk ke, bau wangi ke. And then it will send the impulse using nerve. So this is the nerve that will carry the nerve impulse to the brain to interpret. Okay. So okay, ada such softness. Okay, so this one you can read by yourself. It's very straightforward information. And the next one is tongue. Awak tengok tongue ni. Okay, tongue ni dia ada apa ni? This is the structure of our tongue. Ni dia ada taste receptor. Taste receptor. And then it has nerve to the brain lah, so that the brain will interpret you are eating a sweet food. Okay, okay, next. Okay, the next one is skin. Okay, the next one is skin. Okay, wait. Okay, guys, so skin, we know that there are so many receptors. Okay, for example, we have cool receptor. Okay, we have pain receptor. We have heat receptor, and we also have touch receptor. Okay, so skin has 3 layers. The first one is epidermis. Ni epidermis, layer yang pertama. And then dermis. And the last one is fat layer. Okay. So kalau cool receptor, detect apa? Detect cool stimuli. Bila awak rasa sejuk, this cool receptor will function. And then pain receptor, okay, it will detect the pain. For example, someone, you know, apa putih awak ke apa ke. And then heat receptor, okay, detect the heat. And then touch receptor, when someone suddenly touch you, so this touch receptor, okay, will detect the stimuli and send to the brain for interpretation. And the last one is pressure receptor. Ni awak tengok. If you see, each receptor have different figure. Kalau cool receptor ni wajah ni macam ni. Okay, kalau pain receptor ni dia ada banyak branching ni. Kalau heat receptor macam ni pula. Tengok apa beza cool dengan heat. Kalau cool ni dia ada banyak tangkai kan. Kalau heat ni dia satu je. Okay. And then touch receptor ni macam ni wajah dia. Okay, pressure receptor ni dia unik sikit lah dekat bawah. Okay. Okay guys, so let's continue a little bit. Okay, so this is the mechanism of hearing lah. So how you actually can know that what you are listening. Okay, jangan cikgu besarkan. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, ni tengok ni. Pertama sekali source of sound. Okay, for example, someone is using apa benda ni kan. So it will produce sound. So what will happen is that our earlobe. Earlobe ni kat kita punya cuping telinga ni lah kan. Earlobe will gather the sound wave. Okay, sound wave tu adalah gelombang bunyi lah. Okay, so this sound wave will be received and gathered in the earlobe. And then this sound wave will be sent to the ear canal. Ni lubang telinga ni. Ear canal will channel the sound wave to the eardrum. Ni eardrum. So bila sound wave tu from earlobe, it travel to the ear canal, and then this will make the eardrum to vibrate. Kan? Okay, it will vibrate. So when it vibrate, what will happen? Okay, ni eardrum dia vibrate. The vibration amplified by ossicle. So as I said just now, there is a small bone, okay, in the middle ear, which is ossicle. So bila eardrum ni vibrate, okay, this ossicle it will amplify. Amplify tu maksudnya it will increase lah. Dia akan menaikkan. Menaikkan apa? Menaikkan vibration tu. Okay, vibration. Tengok vibration kan. Okay, and then this vibration will be sent to the oval window. Ni oval window. Cikgu kecilkan sikit. Mana oval window? Oops. Ni oval window ni. Cikgu tak tahu kenapa dia bagi hitam. Tak apalah. Tengok sini ya. Okay, so this. Okay, so eardrum it will vibrate, and this vibrate will be amplified by ossicle bone, and then this vibration will be sent to the oval window. And then this vibration will be sent to the cochlea. And then cochlea, it will produce nerve impulse. Dekat cochlea ni lah dia akan menghasilkan nerve impulse. And this nerve impulse will be sent to the brain using auditory nerve. Okay, using auditory nerve. Okay, and then when it reach the brain will interpret. Ni tengok ni. Oops. Okay, the brain will interpret. So the brain will interpret. Okay, now you are listening to the Blackpink. Contohlah. Okay, kita tahu awak selalu dengan nasyid je kan. Okay, bye. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so the brain will interpret what you are listening. Okay, but I know most of you will listen to zikir-zikir macam cikgu kan. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Next. Okay, let's proceed. Yang ni, yang tadi just now we learn how the mechanism of sound, okay, looks like. Now sight pula. Tengok ni, macam mana kita boleh melihat apa yang kita tengok tu. Tengok ya. For example, you are watching the lighting candle. Ni ada candle ni kan. So the light ray from an object will enter the eyes through cornea. Ni cornea kita ni. Cornea is the first layer of our eyes. Okay, and then aqueous humor, Iceland, and vitreous humor before reaching retina. Tapi you can just say that, okay, when we see something, the light from that object, okay, will be sent directly to our retina. Ni retina. Retina ni penting sebab apa? Inside retina there is a photoreceptor. So what will happen? Ni awak tengok ni. The light ray stimulate the photoreceptor to produce nerve impulse, because we know that inside retina there is a photoreceptor such as cone and rod receptor. So it will stimulate the impulse and send to the brain using optic nerve. Macam tadi sound kita guna auditory nerve, tapi untuk eyes kita guna optic nerve. So this optic nerve will send the nerve impulse from eyes to the brain. For what? For interpretation. So the brain will interpret the nerve impulse, and okay, and now you know what you are looking at. Okay, for example, you are watching movie or whatever. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, the next one is this about the skin. Awak tengok skin pula Cikgu besarkan sikit. Okay guys, so this is how you can know how sensitive your skin is. Okay. Sekejap. Okay, next. Bukan yang ni. Tak ada apa kot. Tu awak baca sendirilah. Ni Cikgu cakap ni. Tengok kat sini. Ni tengok ni. The sensitivity of skin towards stimuli. Stimuli tak kisahlah macam stimuli heat ke, cool ke, touch ke, pressure ke, pain ke Okay, depend on the number of receptor and the thickness of skin epidermis. Ketebalan kulit awak tu. Okay, our sensitive depend on two things. The first one is the number of receptor. Okay, so now I will directly tell you lah. Okay, the higher the number of receptor, the higher the sensitivity of the skin. Okay, you get it? Okay, I repeat again. The higher the number of receptor, the higher the sensitivity of the skin towards the stimuli. Okay, for example lah, if you have so much pain receptor, so much touch receptor, so your skin is very sensitive when someone touch you. Okay, and the next one is the thickness of the skin epidermis. Okay, so cikgu boleh cakap, the higher the thickness of skin epidermis, the less sensitivity of the skin. Okay, ni terbaliklah. Macam tadi the higher, yang ni the higher the lower. Okay, the higher the thickness of the skin epidermis, the lower the sensitivity of the skin towards stimuli. Okay, guys. Okay, let's move on. Ni awak tengok ni. Okay, this is about our tongue. Okay, as I said just now, our tongue contain taste receptor. Okay, taste receptor, they works differently according to what taste they are. For example, bitter. Awak tengok ni. Bitter, okay, kebanyakannya dia ada berada dekat sini. Dekat kita punya pangkal ni kan, kat belakang. Okay, sour kat sini, sour. Sour ni, kiri dan kanan. And then sweet. Sweet, okay, the sweet receptor is located, okay, at the front of the tongue. And then salty. Salty ni yang ni. Ni awak tengok ni. And the last one is umami. Umami ni pelbagai rasa lah. Okay. Okay, the next one, the combination of sense of taste and the sense of the smell. Okay. Ini buat sendiri lah. Cikgu rasa boleh faham kot. Okay, next. Okay, so the next one is in terms of what? In terms of light. Okay, limitation of sight. Ni awak tengok ni. Kita ada optical illusion. Okay, ni awak was-was lah ni. Ni panjang ke pendek ke? Okay, this one. Okay, and also we have blind spot. Okay, blind spot will have okay, blind spot ni we can find in the eyes. Okay, when the light land on the blind spot, you see nothing. Why? Because in the blind spot there is no photoreceptor. Because we know that photoreceptor is very important. Okay, to detect the stimulus of the light. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, guys. So this one is a thing that I think you have already learned. Okay, in physics. Okay, so this one I think you can read by yourself. Okay, those who don't understand, you can ask me. Okay, you can contact me through WhatsApp or Telegram. Okay, so this is another thing. Okay, for example, you have a difficulty to listen or to hear. So this is the solution. Okay, awak tengok ni. Hearing it. Okay. Okay, guys. So for the next time, we are going to cover for stimuli and response in the plant. Okay, so I think that's all for today. So those who don't understand, okay, you can PM me. Okay, and once you finish watching this video, I will attach to you some exercise. Okay, and please, if you have printer, please print, okay, the exercise, and then try to complete. Okay, you can use your textbook, okay, to help you to complete the homework. Okay, and then you snap to me, okay, the picture, and then I will mark it. Okay. Okay, so I will upload this lecture recording on the YouTube. Okay, so please on the section on the comment section, write down your name and class. So I want to take the attendance. Okay, so I think that's all for today. So I see you on the next video. Bye bye.